Good evening. Welcome to the regular board meeting of the San Benito CISD, Tuesday, July 9th, 2013. The time is now 7:05, and I call this meeting to order. Item number 1, call to order, established quorum. We do have an established quorum. Item number 2, please respond with present. Mr. Julian Huerta, Vice President.
Present.
Ms. June Aguilera, Secretary.
Present.
Ms. Ana Cruz, Trustee. Ms. Fatima Huerta, Trustee. Mr. Hector G. Leal, Trustee. Mr. Oscar Medrano, Trustee. Mr. Alfonso Obregon, Interim Superintendent of Schools.
Present.
Mr. Tony Torres, School Attorney. Item number 3, Pledge of Allegiance to the U.S. and Texas flags, and item 4, Invocation. And this evening, we do have 2 students assisting us, and these 2 students come from Sullivan Elementary. If these 2 students can please stand. Nathan Emmanuel Evans. Nathan Emmanuel Evans is a 9-year-old 4th grade student at Sullivan Elementary. Nathan's favorite subject is mathematics and brags that he can budget his parents' bills in his head. He really enjoys learning facts about animals, plants, and nature, and spends quite a bit of time helping feed his goat, horse, chickens, and dogs found at his home. He's known to justify things he does to his parent, and quite honestly, he's very good at debating his point of view. Therefore, he says he's going to be a lawyer. Nathan is also involved with the thespians group at his school and has partaken in many school plays and functions. Nathan is an active member at his church and has been a blessing to many. Nathan Evans is also a yellow belt with a green stripe in Japanese traditional karate and is excellent with his forms. He is the son of 2 very proud parents, John and Fabiola Evans. Also assisting us this evening, we have Naomi Faith Evans. Naomi Faith Evans is a 10-year-old 5th grade student at Sullivan Elementary. Naomi's favorite subject is reading and is fascinated by storybook characters. She loves reading because books allow her to use her imagination. As she reads, she sees the stories come to life. Naomi has learned to weave in her Honor Science Explorer Club, and now she weaves very often, creating her own hair pieces. Naomi is also a member of the Thespians Club, in which she has partaken in many school plays and other activities sponsored by the Thespians Club. She really enjoys singing with the Thespians group. She's also an active member at her church, involved with the children's ministry group, and has had the opportunity to do arts and crafts at a local nursing home, in which she and her group were a blessing to those that partook with these activities. Naomi is also involved with traditional Japanese karate, in which she has a yellow belt with a green stripe and has mean house, roundhouse kick. Naomi is a daughter of John and Fabiola Evans. I'd like to ask that the audience please stand for a pledge of allegiance and invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day of life. Thank you for all the wonderful blessings you bestowed on each and every one of us. We pray that you send your holy angels to guide and protect us as we go through our day. Bless our troops, bless our leaders. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I'd like to ask that the parents of these 2 students please stand and be recognized. And if I can please have Nathan and Naomi please approach the board. Once again, a big round of applause. I know that this is their summertime, and they did make an effort to come here as well. I'd like to thank Ms. Hushen for allowing these students to represent her campus. So thank you, Ms. Hushen. Moving on to item number 5, Superintendent's Report. Mr. Obregon.
We have several reports for this evening. The first one is the one on the 2013-2014 budget. As the board knows, we have to be working on the budget in the board workshop and, of course, finishing the budget in August. The numbers have been worked on for the past couple of Emma, please just review some of the numbers for the board in terms of a report. And also, at the same time, we want to ask the board when the board would be willing to have a complete workshop on the detailed information of the budget, specifically the revenues that are anticipated from the federal government, the state and local, and also the expenditures anticipated for the year. So at this time, we'll let our business manager say a few words in reference to the proposed budget for next year, and then if we can also agree on having a budget workshop for next year, sometime in the very near future. Specifically, I think she said a good time would be next Thursday, so be thinking about that. Emma?
Okay, I don't have all the numbers straight in front of me, but when I was working through the state aid, the new template is out there. We're estimating about $3.8 million more than what we got this past year, and that also agrees close with what Lynn Moak has come up with, so we will be getting some more additional funds from that. Some of the other highlights, we're allowing in the budget for some more insurance for the staff that have not been covered in the past, so that they will have insurance coverage if they so choose. And most of the other items, we have estimated them to be close to what they were this past year. And, you know, it should leave us some funds available for raises if the board chooses to give raises. And we've done some scenarios on the different types of raises, and I can provide that to you, when we have the workshop, so you can decide what, if anything, you want to do with that.
What kind of raises are you talking about?
There should be adequate funds to do somewhere between 3% and 4% of the midpoint. Are there any specific questions on the numbers?
Question is, I know that the reason that we did this is because the last time we couldn't have the workshop. So if it's in the interest of the board to actually, so that way we can, plan this workshop, so that way we can have it, would we do that now, or do you want us to talk about it later, or come to you, Emma, so that way we can have a complete, that way you actually have the numbers, so we can see
Yeah.
where we're at and not just,
Yeah, I've got what's given to you here. What we were looking at is, we wanted some guidance as far as raises and so forth. It's already, well into July, and with some of the changes in the Human Resource Office, we need to get started on that if we're going to do
Yeah,
raises.
and that's what I'm saying, so we can have this workshop, as soon as possible, so that way we
Correct.
can get that going.
Right.
So, do y'all want the 18th?
Yeah, the
18th.
and the 12th to post. 18th. Are you okay with 18th? You'll be ready by then?
Yes, we can discuss more on it, the detail.
All right, then we'll go ahead and post an agenda for July the 18th, I'm sorry, for a board workshop.
6?
In addition to what was stated, there's also an interesting factor on this, and I'd like to ask Emma so she can respond to this, that we noticed that we're finishing up the year with an adequate fund balance, and of course, we're beginning with an anticipated adequate fund balance. And I know you've been working on this because you shared that information with me, that it's a healthy fund balance. In addition to that, the state is coming in with a new formula that may generate an additional $3.5 to $4 million of additional revenue for this district. And all of that combined, I think it's important for the board to consider. And of course, staff and employees of this district, also a long-awaited increase. And I think this is some of the talk that was talked about during the past 6 months by central office and the people involved with looking at these matters. So I would advocate that, one, Emma, could you address that issue on fund balance? Are we adequate with that situation right now?
It'll be a little bit down from what we were last year, because, we did pay the incentives out, but I think, that was probably, earned by the staff. I think it helped the morale. And we're still going to be fairly substantial at probably about 15 million.
Thank you. And I know that you also indicated that during the course of the year, analysis was being done in terms of the revenue that was expected, and we did get all the revenue, and the
Right.
expenditures were curtailed to some degree at the beginning of the school year last September
Right.
to equate it to a workable type and manageable working balanced budget
Right.
that this district afforded. Is this correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And I'm saying all this because I think it benefits the public to openly know that the monies that were appropriated last year did come in, and the expenditures were in line with the anticipated expenditures of the budget that were set up a year ago during July and August of last year. So overall, the financial condition of the district is adequate. I think we also received a report from the agency on the first report that we continued the excellent ratings that this district has enjoyed for several years in terms of the ratings for financial accountability, which is superior. So,
Correct.
okay. And I think that we'll give that report at the next board meeting, that the board continues to provide excellent rating in the expenditures of the district. So I pretty well commend number one, the board for keeping an eye on the expenditures, and of course, the leadership of the individuals involved from all programs and directors and principals, that they maintain a steady working budget and fall within the guidelines of working that their budgets, their individual budgets for the programs within line of the established budget of last year.
Does the board have any other questions?
Okay, the next two items are the actual disbursements of the district, which you have an itemized, computerized, generated information there, and also the disbursements by organizations. If you have any questions in reference to this, we'll gladly try to answer. Other than that, I hope you have had the time to, there's always 60, 70 pages of the disbursements and the disbursement by organizations. But they too fall within the line of the budget for this year and within the range of the anticipated expenditures. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Obregon. Any questions on the disbursements or disbursements by organization? All right. Being that there are no questions, we're going to go ahead and move on to item number 6. Recommend approving the agenda of the regular board meeting of July 9th, 2013 with any corrections and/or deletions.
So moved.
I have a motion to approve the agenda for this regular board meeting, July 9th, 2013, made by Ms. Aguilera, seconded by Mr. Huerta and Ms. Huerta. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 7, public comment. With regards to public comment, the undersigned wished to address the San Benito CISD Board of Trustees, and by his or her signature shown to the board that he or she understands the following provisions to addressing the board. Persons wishing to address the board shall register with the presiding officer or designee no later than 5 minutes before the announced time of the school board meeting, state their full name, state what organization or group, if any, is being represented, state the topic they wish to address before the school board, refrain from commenting directly on any individual school district employee or public official by name, but may instead refer to a specific employment area, job title, or the Board of Trustees as a whole, and shall refrain from attacks on individuals. Speakers will be allowed only 5 minutes to give his or her presentation. Delegations of more than 5 persons shall appoint 1 person to present their views before the Board of Trustees. Presentation shall be informative and shall pertain to school-related issues. Any attack on an individual shall be considered disruption of the meeting. The Board of Trustees shall not deliberate or decide regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. And this evening, we do have a couple of individuals in the audience that would like to participate. We'll begin with Mr. Jose Garcia, and his topic is elements that should be addressed as criminal.
Thank you very much. It's always an honor for me to come before good people that volunteer their services to a very noble cause. I mean, I feel very strongly that the teaching profession is a noble cause, way up there. And that's why I came to address the board regarding certain situations or incidents that have occurred in the district. The superintendent was suspended because he was involved with other individuals that were wound up being criminals. I mean, there were two individuals that were hired by the school district that happened to be pedophiles. Those two people were brought in by the ex-board member who is now is being looked at by the justice system. My point and question is that you suspended the superintendent with pay. In my eyes, the involvement of the superintendent with, I don't think that Mr. Criminal bypassed Mr. Limon to go to Berta Cavazza and have those people over there employ the pedophile that was working there. My grandkids were there under that individual. Yeah, that's very, very, very bad. To me, that should not occur. I'm appalled at all the criminal elements that exist in our institutions. My God, it's time to clean up. I mean, let's do that. I was a federal officer for many years, and one of my specialties was to get wired for sound and capture individuals who were trying to corrupt federal officers. That was one of my pet peeves. I mean, you know, and I mean, that's a very dangerous job, but I did it. I do not condone any kind of criminal element. I don't even, I even stop at stop signs, always follow all of the rules. And that's the way it should be here. I mean, I look at the district attorney, oh my God, the board member here is so shameful that we allow individuals that have a criminal mentality to be part of a system that should be way up there as far as being, I'll use the word good, is concerned. The suspension was with pay. To me, that individual was involved in a criminal act. And if it is a criminal act, then it should be suspended without pay. And that's what I'm here to say. Another issue that I want to say is that the board, I wish you guys would work together, all of you. I mean, you know, you got individuals on the board that are just making trouble. They don't do nothing. They don't contribute anything to the school system, to the school board, to the children. Did you notice those little kids? Fantastic. My God. I have grandkids and great-grandkids that will be coming to the school district. All my grandkids went to Frank Roberts, Fred Booth, high school. They graduated. I have one left, but I have a bunch of grandkids and great-grandkids coming up. And I don't like to see situations, criminal situations occurring. I mean, where, you know, it should be people that care, people that love children and want the best for them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Also wishing to speak before the board, we have Mr. Jesus Aguilera, and his topic is insurance.
Get that thing, what do you mean? The answer to the question that was asked, about how much we were paying our attorneys, $15,000 to Gaza Acevedo and $5,000 to the Beeklers. That was in the past. Board member, okay? That was the past. Now, one of the board members said last month, I'm here to save the district money. Well, I'm here to show you that's not the truth. September, you voted for O'Hanlon for $12,500 per month. All right? Make the motion. They voted for the highest paid attorney. Right here, the Beaklers, 15 years experience, $7,215 per month, general and special ed. Right here. Okay? You voted for the most expensive. Yet, we have Tony as a lawyer, we have the Beaklers as lawyers for special ed, and they voted to have a third attorney. Okay? This information was shared by Mr. Limon last month, right here, as we said. We paid that third attorney $20,000 in March. All right? $20,000 in March. All right? So how are we saving money? We have 3 attorneys. We have hopefully you could get it done. Only you need that gentleman to do it. You know? So $20,000 1 month, guys. $20,000. All right? I could be a good little Mexican and just keep quiet. Okay? But I'm not going to. Then again here, right here, $100,000 by HCH. Your mom works for HCH and you work for HCH. All right? Yet, right here, they owe us $180,000. That's why we paid $20,000 to that third lawyer to investigate this and to pay the police officers their money that is owed to them. All right? Now we want to get rid of the clinic. Let me tell you why you want to get rid of the clinic. Because somebody wants to employ HCH back here again. That's one. The second reason you want to get rid of the the clinic, that man has done nothing to this district, but great service. Even Mr. Limon told me last month, great service, Chuy. Doing great service. Let me give you the other reason. Some of the board members found out that his wife worked for me in 2001. That's why they want to get rid of him. Now, you guys decided, even Manuel said, Chuy, how much money you making on the tablets? You know what? It's not about the money. It's about the money I'm saving for the district. One of the board members said, you know what? Why don't we buy the tablets from a business in Harlingen? You know what? Let's give our business to Harlingen and not give it to Chuy's. You know? And you know what business you wanted to give it to? Right here, All-Star Printing. You know what? It's shameful. This man has done nothing. He forgot to pay his taxes. That happens. One of our board members forgot to pay his ticket. And what happened to him? He was taken to jail. Yeah. This man has done nothing to get you guys all hyped up. And I got one more thing that I have to say. And Mr. Limon was right. He said, Chuy, we did not fine $17 million. We already had $8 million. We found $9 million. So I stand corrected. Not 17, I only found 9. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aguilera. Next individual that would like to address the board, Mr. Richard Garza. Topic, agenda item.
President, board members, interim superintendent, thank you very much for your time. For the record, my name is Richard Garza. I'm with ISD Managed Care Services, and we currently are providing management services for your on-site clinic. I wanted to come up and advise you of some documentation that I brought today in reference to our previous discussion in executive session. Due to the confidentiality, the sensitivity, and the financial, and them being financial documents, I did not want to provide it to the board in advance. I do have these documents available. I do not mind sharing them with you, and I'd be more than glad to get you a copy upon request. But when the agenda item 1307A-6 comes up, that if you wish to see these documents, I have them for you. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. Okay, and we have one more individual, again, wishing to address the board, and this is Ms. Rosalinda Garcia, topic bid.
Good evening. I have to say, I don't think nobody forgets to pay their taxes. Maybe sometimes we don't have the money, but we don't forget about our taxes. I wanted to say that I'm just simply amazed about this bid. I came to the Finance Committee meeting last week or 2 weeks ago, and then I read it in the paper, and I just want to say that I'm simply amazed that the parent of a board member would submit a bid, and then that the board member would consider the bid. All it takes is common sense not to go for this bid. You don't have to have a college degree to see that this is not the right way to go. And I hope your attorney, the school attorney, has recommended you all not to go forward. If you really wanted to save the money, the district some money, we wouldn't be paying a superintendent the salary that our superintendent on suspension is being paid. Maybe we would have had the assistant superintendent sitting there. If y'all really wanted to save money, y'all would have done that. That's my opinion. It's just like a principal who takes over when she's not there. It's the assistant principals. It's all common sense. The bid doesn't have anything to do with saving money. I think it has to do with more personal gain. And I wouldn't have done that. I'm confident I wouldn't have done that to my daughter or a board member if they were sitting there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Moving on to item number 8, action agenda. In order to promote efficient meetings, the board may act upon more than one item by a single vote through the use of a consent agenda. Consent items placed on the agenda shall be marked with an asterisk. Consent items are items for which no board discussion is anticipated and for which the superintendent recommends approval. Prior to the time which approval of consent agenda is had, at the request of any member of the Board of Trustees, any item on the consent agenda shall be removed and given individual consideration. Under Business and Finance, 1307A-1, request for approval of bids, proposals on awards, incentives, and printed materials. Consent. 1307A-2, request for approval of bids on Android tablets. Question by Mr. Medrano. 1307A-3, request for approval of proposals on employee health benefits. Consent. 1307A-4, request for approval of proposal on property casualty insurance. Consent. 1307A-5, request for approval of renewal of 2013-2014 Equity Center membership. Consent. 1307A-6, discussion and/or possible action to provide ISD managed care services with a 60-day written termination notice. Consent. 1307A-7, discussion and/or possible action to authorize administration to request proposals for on-site primary care health clinics.
Question.
Question by Ms. Aguilera. 1307A-8, request for approval of the purchase of the Math 180 intervention program for Berta Cavazza and Riverside Middle School. Consent. 1307A-9, request for approval of the Communities and Schools contract agreement for the 2013-2014 school year. Consent. 1307A-10, request for approval to contract with Inova Process LLC for data analysis. Consent. 1307A-11, request for approval of the Region 1 Library Services and Media Cooperative Commitment for the 2013-2014 school year. Consent. Under Administration, 1306A-12, request for approval to endorse and support Maria G. Leal for the Region 1 Position B TASB Director's position. Consent. 1307A-13, request for approval of delegate and alternate for TASB Delegate Assembly. Questioned by Ms. Aguilera and Mr. Medrano. I'd like to request for a motion to approve the following items under Business and Finance: 1307A-1, 1307A-3, 1307A-4, 1307A-5, 1307A-6. Under Curriculum and Instruction: 1307A-8, 1307A-9, 1307A-10, 1307A-11. Under Administration: 1306, that should be corrected, 1307A-12. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved.
I have a motion to approve these items by Mr. Medrano, seconded by Ms. Aguilera. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Going back to those items in question, we're going to go ahead and go under Business and Finance. Item 1307A-2, request for approval of bids on Android tablets.
Yeah, the first thing that I have is on the proposal. We had the one we had at the Finance Committee, right? We had the All-Star Printing. Did you know that was Mr. Aguilera's nephew? Yeah. Did you all know? Yeah. He came out the same. I didn't know. I didn't know that he came out the same. And then he wasn't evaluated. Why wasn't he not evaluated?
Mr. Adrian Garcia?
Adrian?
The proposal submitted by All-Star Printing was not evaluated because he withdrew the bid.
When did he withdraw? At the last minute?
Before the evaluations started.
And he had the same
Yeah,
the same amount,
Yeah, then-
99, what was it, 98,000?
And keep in mind, even if he did not withdraw the bid, the bids are evaluated by selection criteria, which includes reputation, price, how long have you been in business, are you able to meet the district needs, et cetera, the warranty. So he could have gotten a different score from the results.
So you didn't score him at all?
No, not when they withdraw their bid.
It just seems strange to me that he bidded the same thing that Mr. Aguilera did. I mean, exactly the
Yes.
same.
Yes.
Yeah. Are there monies available for this?
Yes.
What is this for? For special ed or for who?
It was for special ed. What I did is, these purchase orders went through after they were approved to be, or not approved to be purchased, but they were recommended to be used instead of the Apple iPad, which was a significant, maybe $200, $300 difference in prices, where maybe they could save $25,000, $35,000 in money.
Right.
Substantial. This is a PC format instead of an Apple format. So it's it was a lot cheaper. Anyway, the departments, I think it was VMA and special ed area, they started making the POs.
Is it true that Teresa Cantu, there is no money available, or there is?
There was, because the purchase orders
There
were
was
actually done.
There was a meeting today that, I don't know, is it true that there is no money available, or?
Yeah.
Mr. Obregon?
You can't do a purchase order if the money is not in the account.
No, but I'm asking you, because
Yes.
if there isn't no money, then where are we gonna get the money?
No, there is. There was money, but me as purchasing agent, I got to make sure that the purchase is done the right way, meet all policies, legalities. So what I did is I intercepted all the purchase orders that were not approved. I'm the final approval, and if it's over a big amount, then the superintendent approves it. But I intercepted the
But there is-
purchase orders.
There is money with
Yes,
the,
sir. Yes.
with the special ed department.
And,
right?
yes.
Is that what you're saying?
And VMA.
Oh, okay. What was the warranty? The warranty for the Androids?
We had asked them for a warranty, and Chuy's had given us a 1-year warranty. If the item breaks, not breaks, but defected, within 1 month, 2 months, 7 months, 8 months, he needs to replace it totally.
Also, I'd like to get a sample of the item.
Yes,
Can we do that?
yes, sir.
Before?
Definitely.
I'm not ready to approve this item right now.
That's fine.
But if we get a sample of the item, I think I can approve it, but I just need to get a sample of the item.
Just keep in mind, the Director of Technology actually had a sample, and he's the one that recommended this product to the staff, principals, and department heads.
I mean, it just seems strange to me that he has the same bid as All-Star Printing, which is his nephew, if you will. I mean, it's just strange to me. I mean, I'm just not comfortable with it, but I'm not ready to vote for this at this time. So, I mean, I'm just saying that that's why, you know, this was brought up to the Finance Committee, and now it's here. So, you know, I'm gonna vote no on this.
Okay, that's
Thank
fine.
you, sir.
And just we did have this item presented to us under Finance Committee, and if you find it well enough to interject, Mr. Villarreal, please do. That's our technology director. But I know that the district right now, and just to recap for the community, the district uses a lot of the iPads, and the Android tablets are a little bit different in the sense, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Villarreal, but the Android tablets can support certain software or certain apps that maybe the iPad wouldn't. They're just as resilient.
That is true. The iPad does not support Flash, and the Android device does support Flash. In our district, right now, we have some programs like Campus Odyssey, iStation, that work under Flash. So if we have Android devices, the students can be able to have it in the classroom and be able to log into like Campus Odyssey with the Android device. Now with the iPads, they won't be able to log on, like, you know, for example, anything that runs under Flash. So yes, it is.
So in essence, if we do not use the Android tablets, those software programs that the district is already expending money on would not be able to use other than on a desktop, correct?
Yes, they have to go and, you know, sign up for the computer lab
So they would
time.
miss out
Right.
on that learning, that, you know, this supported learning.
385 tablets, right?
385 tablet, yes.
And who would be using that?
Right now, I'm not too sure on the total how much VMA ordered and how much the special ed order. But I know somewhere, I want to say maybe 150 for VMA and then the rest special ed. I don't have the numbers on there. That, I'm not too sure on the,
No, he's not? No. Does he have to be a member of the cooperative to apply?
Adrian, does he have to be part of the buy board?
No.
No?
You have to, it's an item that could be purchased through the DIR, Department of Information Resources, or could be bought through a co-op. This item was recommended at a meeting. My job was just to see if can we buy it through legal policy or through legal means. So I just decided to bid it out, do a competitive bid. So that way we entertain everybody that has this item. They have a right to do business with San Benito and give us a price.
One of the questions also that came up during the finance meeting was as far as how that's going to be saving us money. And when we looked at the iPads, the cost of the iPads and their functionality, and then we looked at the Androids and their functionality, there is a significant price difference, correct?
Yes.
And that's how the district is saving money.
true.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay. At this time, I'd like to request for a motion to approve item 1307A-2 if there are no other questions.
Madam President, just for the record, I want to state that I will be abstaining my vote from this subject.
Mr. Odegan?
I have another comment to this. About 2 hours ago, Mary Johnson, my secretary, gave me an email indicating that Ana Cruz was in Dallas, and I gave a copy of the email to every trustee indicating that if possible, that at tonight's meeting, that she could vote by proxy on this item. And the indication is that she wanted to vote against this particular agenda item. And what I did is I checked on our local policies through our policy advisor, and I also talked to our lawyer right before the meeting. So in all fairness to everyone, especially the request by Ana Cruz, what is the latest, or what is the resolution to this request?
The Open Meetings Act doesn't address a proxy vote. However, the Attorney General's office has stated that a member has to be present to vote. So it's an appropriate proxy vote.
Okay. So I just want to make that clear because of the request that's out here, and the board has to understand.
She has to be present.
Okay, so following advice from our counsel, just for the record, following receipt of Ms. Ana Cruz's request to vote by proxy on this item, we're being told that it's not going to be allowed. So with that said, and understanding that June Aguilera is abstaining from this item, I'd like to request for a motion to approve this item. I have a motion to approve this item made by Ms. Huerta. Seconded by Mr. Huerta. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? 3-1, motion carries. Moving on to the next item in question, item 1307A-7, discussion and/or possible action to authorize administration to request proposals for on-site primary care health clinics.
I have a question on that. I would like to be given the paper that you brought, the information. Because I know in the last meeting we did talk and we had asked some questions, and you addressed every question that I had, sorry. So if I can I have the information so I can look it over. Thank you. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and, if you feel comfortable with it. Do you have copies for it? Or just?
Right.
Okay, well then, here, if I can't look at it, but okay, then I'll go off of that. Yeah, no, that's fine. But either way, he had answered my question at the last meeting, because I know that there was many of the board that didn't want me to speak with him, but, it's within my rights to do so. So I did have talked to him, and, this agenda item came out on here. And it was more along the lines of the fact that we go back, you all want to propose to go out when it's been over the months that the clinic has been doing very well and still is doing very well. And when it came to the board about the knowing, I'm talking about the taxes, it was already paid when it got to the board. When it actually came to us, it was already taken care of. The fact of the matter is that when we had HCA, just, to be clear on that, is that they took money from this district and overbilled, and for so many months it was being brought back as I know a board member had claimed that it was on our part that money was distributed wrong or not taken care of, and I believe that some of the board had tried to blame Janie for what was going on, that why come she didn't keep an eye on it, and it wasn't even Janie's fault. It was on the fact that they were taking money and billing us for things like stuff. Okay, well, but that's what I'm saying.
You're not talking about what you questioned.
I'm talking about
What she's doing
I'm
is she's
talking about as to
questioning,
why.
she's questioning why she doesn't, or she's expressing her opinion with regards to even us going out for RFQs on this item. That's what she's doing, and it does pertain.
This is discussion.
Okay, so then I'll make a motion that we do not go out for bids, because of the fact, it says possible discussion or action to go out for bids.
I know, but then we already, item number 6, we didn't discuss it. So we're discussing, we're authorized for bids, we're gonna go out for bids, aren't we?
No,
You're saying
we don't have to.
Well, yes, we do.
To provide ASD. Okay, well then, but I'm just saying, you all, they took money from our district, and this man has done nothing to our district, and he's provided the services, all the people are paid, taxes are paid, nothing's done, so you all vote then.
Well, I can tell you, but we did pay the taxes. We did pay them out of our pocket. And you remember the checks.
out of his pocket, because that was money he earned.
Okay.
Then you vote, go ahead, go vote.
Are there any other questions for item 1307A-7? Okay, being that there are no other questions or discussion on this item, do I have a motion to approve item 1307A-7? Motion made by Mr. Medrano. Do I have a second?
We don't have a second.
No second.
So, I mean, we can't go back to the other item.
We have to have a second because we've already issued out a 60-day termination. Right.
So, I don't know, you all decide what you want to do. I'm just saying that it's discussion, possible action to authorize the administration to request proposals for on-site primary health clinics. Right? Sorry, we have a second.
I have a second by Mr. Huerta. Again, motion made by Mr. Medrano, seconded by Mr. Huerta. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
4-1, motion carries. Moving on to the final item in question, under administration, 1307A-13, request for approval of delegate and alternate for TASB Delegate Assembly.
Oh, I just want to know who's going. That's what I'm saying.
At this time, we're going to go ahead and
Now,
appoint.
we're gonna do it later.
We have to do it right now.
Okay, so then who's going?
I nominate that June be the delegate for the Delegate Assembly and that Ms. Huerta be the alternate.
I'll accept. Once you say it.
Do I have a motion to approve this item with those recommendations? You
So
need a
move.
motion? Motion made by Ms. Aguilera, seconded by Mr. Huerta. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Which brings us on to item number 9, closed meeting, discussion under the authority of the Texas Government Code 551.074 for the purpose of the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, to hear complaints or charges against a public officer or employee. A, report on personnel. B, employment, resignations, and retirement. C, discussion of administrative leave of superintendent. The time is now 7:53, and we are in executive. We are reconvening an open meeting. The time is 9:37. Item A, action on items discussed in closed session. Mr. Obregon?
Governing body, I recommend the following attached lists for the employment of teachers.
So move.
I have a motion to accept the recommendations by Superintendent Obregon with the exception of one individual. Motion made by Ms. Huerta, seconded by Mr. Medrano. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries, which brings us on to item number 10, adjournment. The time is now 9:38, and we're adjourned.